Yo, yo, yo! Another Thursday night here at Blurred Minds Media. So, you know what time it is. Movie Militia time. As you've seen on the thumbnail, we are talking The Great Gatsby. The rendition with Leonardo DiCaprio in it. Pretty damn good movie. Got a couple things going on here. I got a couple people going to jump on with us here in a second, but until they do, I say let's just go on ahead and get some business out of the way. All right. What that is a little promo ad for what we are calling the Blurred Minds Media Festival, presented to you by Shop Talk Sports and Blurred Minds Media. Father's Day weekend, June 18th and 19th, EP Tom Sawyer Park, Louisville, Kentucky. Come on out and see your boys. Live podcasting, music, 2-day softball tournament with drip up for grabs, food vendors, swag vendors, and plenty of entertainment for the children out there. So like I said, June 18th, 19th, Father's Day weekend, come check us out at the Festo Ball. Now that we got that out of the way, like I said, my guy Derek decided to go in on the Great Gatsby last Thursday, but unfortunately I got caught up in the Midwest blizzard that rolled through here, and I was unable to get on, so I apologize for that. But we back now, so we're gonna talk this Great Gatsby. Now I looked up some information on this. The Great Gatsby was actually written in 1925 by an American writer, F. Scott Fitzgerald, set in the Jazz Age on Long Island near New York City. Now, this whole era is probably my favorite era, I would say, in American history. You know, it's the Roaring '20s. You know, Prohibition era. You know, the kind of the birth of the mobsters and the five families and bootleggers and the birth of NASCAR and things like this. You know, so that's the era I think I dig the most. I love their swag. I love the way they talk. You know, I love everything about that era. So I dig the scene. You know, the time period in which this movie takes place. So when we get into it, you know, this is really just a how do you say it? A very Americana romantic love story. You know, Romeo and Juliet of the American age, of the American times, I guess you would say. Um, this guy right here is the one we could thank for this movie. It's I wouldn't say it's exactly my normal speed, my normal cup of tea. You know, I think you would definitely call this a love story, a romance novel. So, you know, that to me, and honestly, well, it's not my genre. As watching the movie, there's some dips, some low points for me in the movie. I guess where they really poured on thick with all the you know, the romance, the love scenes. Nothing wrong with it if that's your thing, but that ain't never really been my cup of tea. But what I will say that I find badass through this entire movie is the cinematography in it. The way they shot this movie was crazy. I mean, it's just real bright and vibrant, and and just everything about it, the clothing in it, the way they set up the scenes and the rooms in it, everything just really pops real loud, real wild, real crazy. It's the whole movie, every scene, every kind of room in it is a kind of a spectacle of its own. You know, everything's real bright and pops, and I think that gives a good element to it. I think where they base it in the 20s, but with that cinematography, it's almost like if you were right there in the 20s. You know, it's just so colorful. It's not grainy or anything like that. It doesn't look like an old movie, even though it's set, you know, in a, I guess, an older time, a throwback time. But going into it, Toby Maguire is, I would say, even though the movie is The Great Gatsby, which Leonardo DiCaprio plays, I feel that Toby Maguire was pretty much the lead role through it. I think he kind of plays. I would say, it shows him through the movie, writing the story of the Great Gatsby as they're going through the timeline. And I feel like this is actually the writer, Mr. F. Scott Fitzgerald. I think this is almost kind of like him writing this as himself. It kind of seems like he might have based this character loosely off of himself. And Toby Maguire's character going into it, he just kind of in the hustle and bustle of the roaring 20s. You know what I mean? He's out there with the movers and shakers, working in the stock markets. Moved out to Long Island, which I guess at the time seemed to be kind of like a prestigious, happening area to live in the 20s. And he's just kind of doing his thing, and it's kind of hilarious. He's got him a little house, little cottage, but it's dwarfed by a humongous mansion, and that kind of sets the tone basically for this entire movie. And this mansion happens to be the home of the Great Gatsby himself, which he will find out later on through the movie. But let's see here. Yeah, but anyways, like I said, so Tobey Maguire comes in. He's kind of the lead role. He seems like he is F. Scott Fitzgerald's own creation of himself throughout the movie. It goes into his home on Long Island. Like I said, he's a stockbroker, and his house is dwarfed by this humongous mansion and this kind of mysterious guy that lives there at first. He sees him a little bit. He doesn't know much about him, but it seems to be the happening scene. There's always seems to be a party, a big event going on at this house. So the guy obviously seems to be some type of a mover and a shaker of some sorts. Um, so it kind of leads into him getting invited to one of these grand parties. Him meaning Tobey Maguire's character, and that kind of sets the tone and the introduction for the movie. You know, he kind of gets sets up with this girl here, and she's the one who kind of sets the whole introduction. Now the thing is, he's got a cousin early on in the movie who they seem to be pretty close and quite fond of, and she is married to a very wealthy man. But that wealthy man seems to be seems to be some kind of a horn dog. You know what I mean? Seems to be kind of a guy that likes to move about town a little bit. And I don't. It's hard to read at the beginning of what Toby Maguire's character thinks of him. You kind of pick up the vibe that he thinks he's a scumbag, but at the beginning, you know, it's like it's his cousin's husband. He's got some money, so it seems like Toby Maguire might really go. You know, he might be playing the fence on if he wants to hang with the guy or not. But let me patch my guy real quick here. What's
What's
happening?
up?
Oh, nothing, man. Nothing. Just kind of doing a little brief overlay, man. Kind of just spitballing. I guess kind of the beginning of the movie. I kind of walked him through a little bit of, you know, it being based on the 1925 novel written by
Having a
F.
little bit of audio problem.
Oh, okay, okay. Can you hear me? Let's see here. Can you hear me now, sir? Verizon Wireless. See if it's on my end here.
There we are. No, I got you. I got you.
All right, all right, all right.
Got it on the wrong setting on my headset.
It's all good, brother. It's all good, my friend. But yeah, like I said, I was just, I kind of just was stepping them into the fact that this is based off of the 1925 novel written by F. Scott Fitzgerald. And I was kind of trying to explain a little bit of Toby Maguire's character. But now that you jumped on here, my friend, this being one of your picks, how do you want to step into this, sir?
I mean, as far as story, or you want to be talking about like the cinematography of it, because that's one thing. Just recently watching it, um, the the use of the green screen. I'm gonna go cinematography for a minute. The use of the green screen, I think was I don't know. It made it pop. It wasn't a boring. I'm trying to think of a good way to describe it. Like it made it seem larger than life, and it was able to add a whole lot more color. Just made it seem more like a dream state with how Toby Maguire's character was telling it. It was
Yeah,
a
it was
it,
almost like a fairy tale. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It was almost like they did it like almost like a Disney movie would do it, but instead of animated with the real people, but everything's big color, big
yeah,
pop. Everything seems and I even love like the scene when Toby Maguire they're at Toby Maguire's house for tea, and it's the first time that the Great Gatsby's getting her. But just that whole setting of that living room with all those flowers in it, it was
yeah,
just like super over the top, super big. It almost was like it like put you almost in like a three dimension of like that time period, like the
yeah,
20s. Like if you see like pictures of it from now, like now to then, it's black and white, it's grainy, but it's almost like that song, if you could see it in color, if like you were
yeah,
there while it was happening, it seemed like it would be that spectacular.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I was talking about. Like I've really, like, story aside, like I think they did amazing with visuals. Like it
yeah,
was I'm really happy, especially at the beginning where he's describing how New York City was alive and colorful, like uh the golden lights coming from the city, and it just showed all these other colors and other just people moving, and it was very loud and fit the story.
oh yeah. And dude, like you said, like when they would show all the people interacting to like like the juke joints and shit, it was like
Yeah,
and the jazz, it was over the top. But then like the way they would do the city pans and come
yeah,
down into the city,
yeah,
and if you notice it when they were up top, like at the highest angle, you could still see people walking in the
yeah,
streets, and then
yeah.
the way they shot it was like beautiful. You know what I
Oh
mean? I
yeah,
mean, I don't think you
I
could
was
ask to
amazed by
shoot
it.
it better.
Yeah.
Like it looked so fucking clean and crisp the way they did it.
Well, that's the thing I'm kind of I'm kind of blown away with was I'm not a fan of like that many special effects, that much green screen. Like I honestly think it takes away from a movie like the first episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Star Wars where they use a massive amount of special effects. I hated that,
Yeah,
but I think it fit the way it was shot. It fit this movie because like you said earlier, it was like a fairy tale. And
yeah,
it wasn't meant to be real. It was a retelling of a story in his view, and pretty much allowing the imagination to take effect, and that's what you would probably see in someone's imagination. The way that was shot, the color, the movement, the noise, everything.
yeah.
Like it,
It was like the Roaring Twenties on acid.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, that's kind of how it looked. You know what I mean? And I love it too. Like it being in the 20s. Kind of a time like a period piece. Their lingo in the movie. And I thought
Yeah.
their lingo with their outfits, with the way they shot it all just kind of tied together so fucking well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And even like the way they shot the scenes and like what they added to the movie, like the first scene where he is going in there when he first goes to his cousin's house, and all the butlers are there, but all the big white drapes, and the white drapes will open up, and
Yeah.
then it'd be a whole another room where a whole dinner setting, or
Yeah.
it was almost like they shot it those scenes almost like a musical because it was kind of moving with the back tone of the music in the movie, but the actors themselves weren't singing. You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's like they took a note of a musical and how they would like cut a scene to the musical end of it. But instead of having the characters actually doing it, it was just the background music and just the flow of the
Oh
camera
yeah.
work.
I wholeheartedly agree.
And
Like
honestly, I
it
appreciated that because I honestly don't like musicals. I mean, I can't think of one that I'm all that excited about ever.
man, to be honest, I am in love with Moulin Rouge. Like thinking about it, that like this movie made me like reminded me of Moulin Rouge. It was Moulin Rouge without the music, the way it was shot, the story was told,
Okay.
the
And you know
colors
what?
and stuff.
I've never actually watched Moulin Rouge.
Dude, that might be our next movie.
We're definitely gonna have to throw that in the lineup because I've never
Yeah.
honestly watched it. I mean, I know for a fact that the music video definitely hit in the top like 5 of my spank tank back in the day, but I've never watched the actual movie.
Dude, the movie's good. Ewan McGregor, like he is an awesome actor, an awesome guy, and like he sung every like he there was no voiceover or anything. They actually went in a studio and he sung every part for his
Damn.
movie. Like
Yeah.
it would, and it's amazing. Like the mashup, they have like Beatles and Nirvana and like all these other songs just mixed together. Like Elton John is in there. Like uh, it's really good. Like at one point they sing, it's the song Roxanne.
Yeah.
You don't have to
Yeah.
put on that. It's this like Romanian dude is singing it to this whore, and in the end of it, he kills her because she ratted him out. Like
Well,
they're like doing
fuck.
it's El Tango de Roxanne or something. I can't remember the name of the song, but like he starts tangoing with her, dancing with her, and at the end of it, like he breaks her neck and just leaves her on the floor. Like
Shit.
yeah, it's good. It's a good movie. It's got a lot of interesting stuff in it.
Hell yeah, we're definitely gonna have to throw that one in the fold. Speaking of that, and speaking of the music in the movie, what did you think about having current music
Dude,
in the
I
movie?
loved it. I loved it. One thing like it caught me off guard is whenever she comes over to his house for the first time, like they're spending the day together, that he is playing it for some reason. It just like it clicked. The guy that's like descendant from Beethoven or whatever, he's playing what is that? It's like Lord or something like that. The girl from England. It's like I can be your
Yeah,
queen or whatever.
yeah, shit. What is the name of that? Let me see if I can find it.
But he's playing that song in a piano or organ version of it.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Like I said, the funny thing is with it being a period piece, the first time I heard it on there, I was like, I don't know if I like that or not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it goes so fucking well with the way they
Yeah.
shot it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's kind of undeniable that the songs that they picked and put in there just fucking worked. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean?
Well, I think the reason why it worked is they used modern music and like modern beats, but they played it in that style, like the Roaring Twenties style. And
Yeah.
like hearing Jay Z, some of his music pop up in that, and like like you said, it worked. It fit.
And
Like
that's the
whatever.
wild thing. Who would think that a 1920s period piece romantic novel would have Jay Z in it? And you'd be like, yeah, that actually fits. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Like,
whatever he passes by those people on the bridge, and they're just they're partying out of the back of that car. Like the
Oh yeah,
driver's driving, and he's got like baskets full of champagne, and there's four people behind him just living it up. Jay Z was playing. I'm like, that fits. That makes that song even better. Like
yeah,
it all works.
absolutely, absolutely. What did you think about the movie? Uh, well, like I guess kind of holistically. You know what I mean? I mean, for me, uh, like I said, I love the soundtrack. I love the way they shot it, and I love the era, the clothing, the way
Yeah,
they talked, and things like that. But also, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of like the love story, the romance movies. So for me, there were certain parts just when it was just, and probably nothing to do with the movie. Honestly, it's just when it was just running through the chasing the girl and I'm in love with the girl and the setup. And this like to me, those runs like I had to rewind it a couple times because I was like nodding. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah.
that just to me personally, I mean, it's not like I have to have action in every fucking scene, but it's just like when it comes to the chase and honestly, I look at it in some parts of it. I'm just looking at Tobey Maguire like, don't you have some snatch to chase? Like, why are you always there? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro,
Okay,
leave
I
leave him be. He might want to poke away from you.
I was watching it with my wife, and she's just like, she just kept making fun of him. She's like, "Oh, there's the third wheel. There's the third wheel,"
That's
and
what
it
I was
was
seeing.
so awkward, so awkward.
Yeah, and it's like every time you turn around, it's like there he is, and he's like, and like the worst thing is, he's like that, he's kind of like that pussy friend, he's always sitting there judging, and like you shouldn't do that, and you should like, but why are you always here? Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, dude, don't you have anything else to do? I feel like in real life, after he set up the tea meeting, I feel like the Great Gatsby would have been like, all right, bro, appreciate it, like
yeah,
I'll see you at the next party.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm out. I'm gonna go
yeah.
take care of business, and I'll see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, matter of fact, I'll send you a nice bottle of booze or something for the effort. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But it's like I just didn't understand him sticking around, and like it's funny too because why do I keep missing the main girl's name?
I can't remember. Oh, all right. What? Real quick, talking about her, like it bothered me. I don't know if it was the actress, like what was going on with her, or that's her acting style, or what. But they talked about how beautiful she was right out the gate when she came up over the couch and stuff.
Yeah,
But it looked like half of her face was numb, like she had a seizure or something. I'm like, that's not attractive. Like she's trying to smile, and like one part of her face is no emotion, the other one's
yeah.
doing whatever it's doing.
Looks like she had an
It freaked me out.
looked like she had an adverse effect to the stab.
Yeah, yeah. Like she had a
Poor
halfway
thing.
lazy eye, fucking
Yeah.
like one side of her mouth wouldn't work the way she wanted it to work. It was that was like I could not look past it. Yeah, like she just I don't know. It bothered me through the movie. I couldn't do it. I couldn't stand looking at her.
Yeah, and that's and the funny thing is like even like like the weirdness with Tobey Maguire's character, like she had said in the beginning, she was like something basically to the effect of like do you have a crush on me? Like asking
Yeah,
him, and he's her cousin. It's like to me it was like it was always weird. It was almost like he had a crush on her, and he wanted to be cool with her husband, but he knew he was a douchebag. But then he
yeah.
wanted to help the Great Gatsby get with her. But then he wanted to judge the Great Gatsby for trying to get with her. I was like, where do you fit into this? You know what I mean? And honestly, to me,
He's just there.
the whole time, I'm thinking the same thing you're thinking. Like, dude, this guy did all this in this movie for this chick, and I'm just looking at her like, well, jeez, she's not all that great.
Yeah. What did
And
she
honestly,
have to offer?
there's hotter chicks in the movie. I feel like you just could have switched the role around.
Yeah, like the black haired girl that was like the golfer or whatever. She
Smoke show.
and she brought so much to the table. Like, she was intelligent, she was funny, she thought through a lot of stuff. She had her own career going on. Well, this
Yeah,
girl ran around and laid on couches and broke pearl necklaces. I mean, what does she have to offer?
yeah, exactly. And she's stuck with this douchebag husband. But
Yeah,
then, but then she's in love with the Great Gatsby. But then she won't give up on the douchebag husband. So it's just
yeah,
kind of
that's knowingly fucking around on her.
yeah. So it's just kind of like it just kind of looked at it like you're just a dumb broad, and all these dudes
Yeah,
are just stuck on you, basically. You
yeah,
know, like the cheerleader that got hot junior year, but now she's got the point guard and the fucking quarterback after her.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? But like we said too, I mean, I feel like as soon as he made the introduction and then Toby Maguire was talking to her, I feel like that's like end of the movie, bro.
yeah,
Like you should have just run off in the sunset with her and been done with it.
yeah. That's what I was expecting, to be honest. Like, I was like, oh well, there's the main girl. Like, it might go this way or something. Like, nope, nope. She was just on the side, just not even a big part of it.
Yeah, she like basically they needed her for like 3 scenes,
Yeah,
and then after that she just became an extra.
yeah, yeah.
She just was just randomly in other scenes, not doing much of nothing. And then of course we got man, I can't remember this actress's name. Do you know her name?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Let me see if I can figure this out right here. She is. Her name is Myrtle Wilson in the movie,
Myrtle Wilson.
and I believe her real name is Jordan Baker. No, Jordan Baker is the chick with the dark hair. Maybe her real name is Myrtle Wilson. No, no. Hold on.
Aisha Fisher.
Ah, yeah, yeah, that is her name.
Or Ascilla Fisher. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know that girl. Holy crap.
that's the one from what you call it?
Wedding Crashers.
yeah, wasn't good. I'll find you.
Dude, she's married. She's married to Bruno. Sasha Baron Cohen, the guy that does Bruno.
Really?
Yeah, they met in college. Like, I'm a big fan of him. Like, I think he's brilliant. He really he has mastered the art of fuckery.
Yeah.
But he they met in college, and like they've been ever since college. They've been together. They have like 2 or 3 kids together or something like that. Like, they're like a power couple. To be
Yeah.
honest.
Dude, he had me howling in Talladega Nights. That's one of
Yeah,
the funniest fucking movies. We're gonna do that movie probably in short order on here, but I love
I'm
that damn
down with
movie.
that.
But
I need to rewatch it. It's been a very hot minute since I've seen it. So
and the thing about that movie is too. I mean, obviously Will Ferrell's hilarious. The guy who plays his buddy, the one that plays in Step Brothers, he's obviously hilarious.
oh
But
yeah, when they get together, it's magical.
yeah, but dude, I don't think you get as much funny in that movie without Sacha Baron Cohen's character. Because man, he took it to a whole nother level of retarded.
Yeah, yeah. I was one of the funniest things about that whole movie. What killed me when I first saw it was him talking about his husband, and like his husband's job is to train what was it, German shepherds to be
Yeah,
synchronized like performers. It's like a very small niche career that has
yeah,
like serves no purpose, and I don't know why. Like, I about just fucking died laughing at that part. I don't.
oh
Like I said,
yeah.
I don't know why, but
That fucking well, that whole scene where he was at his house calling him out, and they were walking, and he made him hold his hand. That shit was so fucking funny. And then he kissed him, and he was like, it was just
or
like you
what?
could tell he was like whatever he could do to make it awkward as fuck. And dude, the bar scene,
Where
ridiculous.
he plays Beethoven, and it's just
Oh
like they're all
god,
like, "What the fuck is this?"
it was like I think my ears are bleeding.
Yeah. I just feel a lot of anger and confusion.
Yeah, yeah, fuck it, dude. We're gonna have to do that movie sooner than later.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
When I watched this, like I said, took me a couple times to get through it. I kept seeing this, and I knew this would had to be alluding to something. Do you know offhand what that was alluding to? I think I know, but it might be deeper than what I think I know. That's why I'm asking. This kept popping up throughout the movie. The Great Gatsby. Sorry, folks, this was not in Talladega Nights. We just jump around a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. But we get off topic for a little bit, and then we have to force ourselves back on track. It happens, people.
Yeah.
Good conversations always happen like that. But man, the only thing I can really think of when I see that is the depiction of Big Brother off of the book 1984.
Mm.
That's what I, as soon as I saw it, that's instantly what I thought it was.
Interesting. Interesting.
Because he talks
Yeah.
about like how all the workers are all constantly under the watchful eye of whatever the doctor was, and it's a very run down, like a dystopian area, and everyone has to see that. Everyone feels like there's these giant eyes just watching what they do at all times.
Yeah, you know it's funny too because they would like when they would show them leaving Long Island and going into the city, like that pan view, like the city almost looked like a Mad Max looking thing they were going into.
Yeah,
Remember, it was all dark and like grimy and gritty looking.
yeah,
And the funny thing is, if you think about that, when they would do that, it was always when like her husband was cheating or they were going out drinking. Almost like you said, it's almost like you got eyes on you, even though you think you're
yeah,
coming out here to do like your smut. Like you're still like everything's going to come to light eventually.
yeah,
Almost.
yeah, yeah.
The only other throw I could do was at the actual cover of the book, but
Okay,
at the same time, those eyes are vastly different. So
yeah,
that's why I was like, maybe not. You know what I mean? Because obviously that's like a woman's silhouette type of look, and then
yeah,
these are, oh, I mean, could be close, I guess, but
yeah.
I don't know if that's it or not. Honestly,
I mean, do you think there's any other like bigger, deeper meaning to it?
you know, I was looking into that too, and you know, I think this was alluding to the American Dream story, and how almost like life's always unbalanced, and
Yeah,
and no matter how high you get on one end, it's almost like no matter how many colors you get on one side of this Rubik's cube, there's always the other side of it that's never going to be as sweet. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because if you think about when it came into introducing the Great Gatsby, he was this super wealthy guy, very mysterious, had these legendary parties. Nobody knew much about him. You know, real fly character when you seen him, and he seemed like bulletproof, almost
yeah,
untouchable. And when you see that part, and like if you see people like that in real life, you know, super big ass house, always in the scene, they seem like their life is just all peaches and cream.
yeah,
But come to find out, this guy is an obsessed, haunted, maybe even over this woman that he fell in love with and then lost touch with to the point of that actually drove his motivation to become successful.
yeah,
Almost to show that, like, even all that success on the outside, on the inside, it almost was like none of that was even the goal exactly for him. That's just what he attained on his way to get to her. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But like none of that mattered, and even though that was seemed so grand to all the people that would show up at his parties and all the people around him, to him it was like it wasn't nothing. It wasn't even shit because it wasn't what he wanted. You know?
Well, I mean, going into that, uh, like what you just said, is one of the lines that he said to her is, "You don't. What do you not like about this? You can change it. You know, you can make it what you want it to be." He
Yeah,
pretty much stating exactly what you just talked about. Like everything that was going on in that big party scene meant nothing to him. He would make it whatever she wanted it,
yeah.
and it you kind of like hit it right on the head. I mean, it's
And it's like it even said in the movie, he was throwing those parties because he knew where he bought his house. He knew whose house was across the water, and he was doing it just to get her attention to come over there.
Yeah.
So he's having these big. I'd imagine probably back then. I don't know, probably $10,000, $20,000 parties every couple of days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to get his neighbor's attention, in essence. And even that's like a crazy move of like the obsession and just the determination he had. I mean, you bought the mansion across the water from the mansion that the love of your life lives in. If that's not some fucking Kanye West buying the house across from Kim Kardashian shit, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
That's
That,
that's wild, bro.
what
But
I heard about
what
that,
about the
that
houses?
was hilarious. I was like, that is a petty fucking move, Kanye.
Yeah, that it was almost as funny. Did you see the Kevin Hart Nick Cannon feud, their prank war that they were doing for a minute?
No.
So apparently, I think it was a birthday or Father's Day, something like that. Kevin Hart was having an event in his house. So Nick Cannon sends him a llama out of nowhere, just like because obviously, what the fuck's Kevin Hart know or gonna be able to do with a llama? He just has one now. So then, Kevin Hart rents a billboard and puts Nick Cannon's actual cell phone number on it and puts it up in Los Angeles. So, obviously his phone's just fucking blowing up crazy. So he's got to get a whole new phone, whole new number. So then Kevin Hart's leaving a fucking stadium tour that he was on, goes to get on his private jet, and it's wrapped with Nick Cannon's face. I'm talking like basically imagine us with just fuck you money.
Yeah.
The dumb
That
shit we would do.
that is good. That is good.
I was
Yeah.
laughing at it. Of course, some people are like, these motherfuckers could do better shit with their money. Like, fuck you. That's hilarious. And
That
they got gobs of money if that's what they want to do with it. So like it's funny as fuck.
yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like they've actually done quite a bit because they're making other people laugh. That made my day. Like how petty do you have to be to steal somebody's jet and fucking wrap it with your face?
Yeah, and think
Like
about how much that would fucking cost. So that's the thing.
yeah,
That is total commitment to the fucking
yeah,
joke.
yeah,
And I haven't heard the rebuttal yet, but I'm sure there's going to be one. And it'll probably.
yeah.
I mean, if that's the bar, wrapping a private jet, then Kevin Hart's got to go super hard for this next one. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Oh, dude. But all right. So we alluded to a couple different things in here. I'll tell you one of my favorite things in this movie because, like I said, I love this era. I love this everything about it, the way it looked, the way
yeah.
people talked, everything. But man, this right here.
That was beautiful.
I mean, come on. That is just sharp as there could be.
Oh yeah.
And I had to look it up. I wasn't familiar with this. Did you know what car this was?
Is that a Rolls Royce?
It is a 1929 Duesenberg.
Huh.
Let me see here. Actually, okay. Actually, no. You're right. It is a Rolls Royce. I guess it's a Rolls Royce Duesenberg. Maybe. Because I got one thing that says the car is a brilliant yellow 1929 Duesenberg, but then it says, what does the yellow car symbolize? And it says Gatsby's yellow Rolls Royce represents corruption and deceit.
I didn't know yellow meant that.
I didn't either. So it says Gatsby buys this car to promote his wealthy facade to others, while this very car is also used by Daisy to run over and kill Myrtle. So I guess the deceit would be the facade that he's more than he is, more than he ain't, and the what is the other one? The corruption would be the fact that Daisy ran over Myrtle in that car. So I guess if you look at it like that, I can see the point. And what did you think about what did you think about the whole death Myrtle situation? Did you know like right then and there it was like this is there's no getting past this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it was alluding to it. Like, you're talking about a normal romance. I mean, there's that build up. Um, there's that initial build up, and usually, like whenever the main character Gatsby is introduced and he's going after his long lost love, they have to build up her husband or her significant other as an asshole. And one of the ways you can do that in a love story is the asshole has a mistress or multiple mistresses, and usually there is a conclude like something comes to head with that mistress, and that's in the life of the wealthy. I mean, hell, that's not even in the wealthy. Like in normal, hell, there's you know people that die over little love feuds all the time,
yeah.
and it was a nice reflection of life, I guess. But I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. The love story, I just really don't care for. Like
To me,
I
when movies get like I guess deep into that whole the love, the romance, the whole woo woo part of it, it
yeah,
just I don't know, they just lose me with that. And like I said, and then when I turn around, you got that mixed with just like Toby Maguire basically just sitting there like perving on him the whole time. It's
yeah.
just just made it. Like I said, I nodded off a couple times there in like the kind of like the middle grounds of the movie. I did, but
I mean,
yeah,
that's what his buddy, whatever her name's husband, uh, he even like states it in the beginning. He's like, "You're always sitting on the sideline. You're always want to watch. That's your thing. No judgment, but I know that's what you just want to do. You just want to watch. That's what you get off on." And
yeah,
it kind of set the tone for that character. And at that point, I'm like, man, he's not a good character. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like I understand he made a lot of things happen in the story, but I couldn't get over how you're like you said. I mean, he was just there, kind of perving, just
yeah,
kind of in the
you know.
corner, just watching everybody, staring at them, just being awkward.
And honestly, to me, I think because if you notice, like
Label out.
he kind of narrates the movie, and if you see, like it shows that he's writing the story of the Great Gatsby while it's going through it.
Yeah,
I feel like that almost might be the author um writing himself into the movie.
yeah,
I feel like he might have based that character kind of loosely off of himself.
I could
Do
see
you,
that. I could see that. That's probably a self reflection in it, or like like most writers do, they use personal experiences, and he's probably been in those situations where he's been on the outside looking in at a relationship and all the troubles they go through.
and if you think about it, he don't look too far off from the character.
No,
He kind of looks like a pervin goober
a pervin
himself.
goober.
So it might actually be him. And the wild thing about that is, I wonder if it was him. I wonder, was there a person in his life that was a motivation for the Great Gatsby? Like did he have some kind of badass neighbor that
Well,
wanted to shack up with his cousin or some shit?
maybe it's how he saw himself because uh, one of Gatsby's greatest things that they constantly talk about in the movie is his imagination. Maybe his overactive imagine the writer's overactive imagination was one of the settings for him seeing himself as Gatsby, but also someone like telling a story of him, like how he sees himself. It's kind of weird. Like if you told a story about yourself, how would you tell it? And he was telling it in a third person, how he
Yeah.
thinks someone looking in on his life would see it. So
Mm.
I don't know if I'm explaining that the right way or very well, but I don't know. It's just I get a weird feel like thinking about that, like it's a weird self reflection.
Yeah. I can see that for sure. I mean, I feel like honestly, I almost feel like it almost would have to be because he's a major part in the movie. I would almost say you could say he's kind of the main character,
Yeah,
but he's not ever really that significant as well. It's almost like he made the character, but the character's almost like through his eyes as the author. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's almost like he's there, but he's not there. It's almost just like that character was basically just like the vehicle to tell the Gatsby story.
yeah.
If that makes any more sense, probably fucking not. But
No. I get that. I mean, he kept the kept the story going, but he really did not contribute to the story.
yeah, right, exactly. Like nothing he did really moved the needle in the story.
Yeah,
Other than the fact that I guess Gatsby was just in love with his cousin, and his house was where the initial tea meeting happened. But I don't, that was it basically.
yeah.
And it's not like you know what the twist should have been. The twist should have been during all this, her douchebag husband gets pissed, runs back to his mistress, and Toby Maguire's in there just got her like a pretzel, son, just wearing her down. That would have been the twist that his character needed to have some balls. You know
Got
what I
her
mean?
wrapped up. Yeah.
Be like, well, what the hell, bro? You're running off on my cousin. You can't have all the hens in the hen house, son. You gotta let another fox play.
And that's another thing. Like, and just thinking about it. I mean, that's something that talking about a self reflection. The author of The Great Gatsby might have had the hots for his cousin, and this was like a power fantasy ego trip story that he
Yeah,
wish it would happen.
yeah,
Sorry, I was sitting there thinking about that as yeah, it's weird.
that might have been it. And he never had the balls to tell his cousin that he was in love with her, so he wrote this whole book about
Yeah,
his perv love for his cousin.
yeah, that might have been the whole like premises of the whole story.
I think we might have cracked the case. I think we might have cracked the whole case of the Great
Yeah,
Gatsby. It
yeah.
says here that the inspiration was by a youthful romance he had with a socialite named Genevera King and the righteous parties he attended on Long Island North Shore 1922. But I think the closeted perv lust for his real cousin seems way more like a motivation to me.
Oh yeah,
Because like I said, if you were living it up like that, why wouldn't you have wrote yourself as the Great Gatsby?
yeah. Like,
You know?
that's why I'm saying it's kind of like he wrote it from the perspective of what he thinks other people should see him as, and he used his imagination to be perving in on his like it, he wished he used it as like a sort to explain his love story, how he wished it would happen with his cousin.
That's
Like
exactly what it did.
it's very tinfoil hatty, but I could easily see it happening, like that being the case.
Oh, I can see it too. Maybe that too was where this came from. Maybe he felt so guilty about it that he had to write in these eyes were watching him all the time because
Yeah,
maybe those eyes was really like his uncle catching him spanking it to his cousin in the shower or something weird. Maybe his
maybe
uncle was really Big Brother.
maybe it was just his guilt
Yeah,
constantly. He always felt something was like not right, or it there he always had to look over his shoulder over something. And it's just like his guilt constantly being there and creeping on him.
yeah, yeah. I think so.
So
And the weird thing too about guilt, maybe not guilt, but it seems like a hopeless determination that Leonardo DiCaprio's character, the Great Gatsby himself, had with trying to reverse the clock. It seemed like the whole movie he was trying to go back 5 years, and
yeah,
it seemed like at every turn there was something in the way where he couldn't do it. Even to the point of this scene here, where he's trying to tell him, he's like, "Man, you keep talking about 5 years ago, and it'll all be great if she just comes over here and lives this life." And he's telling him, like, "Bro, maybe it ain't the same story at the time, and people, gain a whole lifetime in 5 years span.
yeah. I mean,
So
it's just like a hard lesson a lot of people have to deal with, like going from teenagers to young adults, is you're in love with the person that was, or that, like, let's say you're messing with a girl all throughout high school, and or a few years in high school or whatever, and you guys separate and go to college, and then you come back, and your idea of that girl was how she was in high school. It's not the same girl that you knew, because she went through college, she experienced all this other stuff, all this stuff that happened and like shaped that girl as a person. You can't be trying to bring back those high school feelings, or the high school like times, or it's not going to happen. You
yeah,
guys
it's
are adults
over and
now.
done with.
Yeah, I mean, you have to accept it as, you moving on. You have to.
Yeah,
It's something different. It is a different person, and you either be okay and fall in love with that person that has evolved and grown as a human being, or you live in the fantasy of who they used to be, and that's not healthy, as you can tell, like within the Great Gatsby. This movie kind of really shines a light on it. You become obsessive and just not right in the head. I mean, it can be a good motivation and make you millions of dollars, but
yeah,
you are not a healthy individual, like
and ob-
mentally.
and obviously that'll go to show another, I guess, lesson of this movie is money does not buy happiness,
No,
because if you seen the guy's house and his setup and what he looked at when he walked out his backyard, I mean, fuck, the guy was living the fucking dream as far as
go
material
anywhere and get
goes.
any girl. I mean,
Yeah, as far as material life goes, dude had it fucking set up, son.
had it made.
I mean, trust me, back in his day, riding around in that, you
Hmm.
were fucking pimping.
Oh yeah.
And even the douchebag husband, his little roadster,
Oh yeah.
that thing was pretty fucking swanky. And his house was no joke either. I mean, we're
Oh
talking
yeah.
about they were definitely all some well off people, but as you can see,
They were
they were
playing
all
polo
miserable.
in the backyard. Who the fuck has a polo field in their backyard? Not
Yeah,
even their whole backyard. It was a small section of it.
yeah. You think your buddy's fucking hitting big when he's got a Huffy roll around go in his backyard? These motherfuckers had a whole polo outfit. Yeah, dude. And like the thing is, but look at it. The husband didn't ever seem to get enough snatch. Was always running around. He seemed kind of like a miserable fellow. Daisy, she seemed miserable in between both. Uh, Leonardo DiCaprio seemed miserable. So like I said, like all the money
Actually,
wasn't what made him happy.
I mean, I think there's a good like theme in that is people living in the past and not being happy. Look at her husband right out the gate. They talk about how he was like a sports star or a sportsman or whatever, but he is
Yeah,
past his prime. And the minute he says that, they go into the hallway and the husband is showing off all of his trophies and talking about stuff he's done, and you know, it he seems proud of it, but it has no true merit with him.
Yeah,
It's just like, okay, yeah, I did that. This is I used to be the guy to go to for any sport back in the day, but okay, what's now? What am I doing now? What has that done for me?
yeah,
It's a very hollow thing, and it kind of shines a light on to the premises of Gatsby is living in the past. It's
yeah.
no
I
longer
think
relevant.
that's the tone. It seems like that's the tone for yeah, for both of them. They
Yeah.
both were stuck in that. He was stuck off the accolades of his past, and the Great Gatsby was stuck with a love life of his past. But they neither
Yeah.
one of them seemed to be able to shake it because the douchebag
They couldn't get
husband
over
still
it.
thought he was the shit. And the funny thing was, even in the scene where she could not tell him that she did not at one time love her husband
Hmm.
and how devastated it made him. You know what I mean? Like you could tell that like he did not think at all that that's what she was going to say. She was just like, "No, this whole 5 years I loved you. Obviously, I was just playing with this dude's balls because I mean, look at this fucking house, right?"
Yeah.
And she was like, "No, actually, I was capable of loving somebody other than you," and that like floored him because obviously his entire life from that point of him going to war was based on becoming the biggest craziest situation he could become for her.
Yeah.
So he made his whole destination getting back to her, and she just kind of did what most people do and moved on. And it kind of fucked him up when I guess he figured out that she wasn't just sitting around, flicking her bean to the thought of him every night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like any relationship, man. No one is truly going to be sitting there and waiting on your dumb ass, especially if you stop writing them or stop communicating with them. They're going to think, well, that person moved on. I got to move on.
Yeah,
The Gatsby, I mean, as brilliant as he was and as savvy as was a businessman, he was a dumbass. Like,
yeah, yeah. And the funny thing is, even though it was a romantic comedy, or not a comedy at all, I guess, a romantic
it
a
was just a
love
romance
story.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a romance movie. I still like the fact that he got all his millions off of being a crook.
Yeah.
Like it's still, and I like that because it's a Roaring Twenties period piece. They allude some to prohibition and drinking, but I think really like I like that too because for that era, some of the guys who did make their fortune was bootleggers,
Oh, yeah.
and he was a
Yeah.
bootlegger. So that's I like that because, like I said, I love that's my favorite period in American history is the Roaring Twenties. I love the stories. I love the birth of the mafia, the five families. I love
Yeah.
the bootleggers in the hills of Kentucky and Tennessee. I love the birth of NASCAR. I love every bit of it.
It made the Wild West a national phenomenon because at that time, they made the prudish government tried to make everything that was sinful illegal. And you know what? We're humans. We like to sin. So it's
Yeah,
gonna happen whether you like it or not. And it made these people that's all they knew was how to make liquor or how to run a gambling or a casino or something, or just like where NASCAR was born from bootlegging. I mean, all this
yeah,
stuff, like some of these gearheads were just like, I'm gonna make this car go faster than the cops. It's like that's my whole goal. And that's what
yeah.
that drove them into it. I mean,
And honestly,
like
to this day, we've been still trying to do the same pursuit under all of our own hoods.
yeah, anybody that gets excited by the fact of a motor starting up and revving, they're like, the ultimate test is to outrun that radio.
Yeah,
That's that's
yeah.
that is the ultimate test.
Like you see some guys who really know what they're doing on the crotch rockets, man. You could see their skin just tingling when they see a cop because they know
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna dust this motherfucker.
like one of my the favorite videos. I'm sure you've seen it. The guy that's sitting there like just giving it hell on the highway, and the cop comes up behind him. He turns and looks and just flips him the bird and just gone. Just
Yeah,
drops a gear and goes. and he
Yeah.
turns back and look, and the cop is just like a speck on the video. Like he just can't catch him.
That's like what was it? The cops in Japan in the street racing scene.
Yeah,
They know that they're not going to catch some of those cars. So once they get going, they don't even fucking chase them no more. They're
yeah.
like, nah, it's not even worth the fucking wreck or anything else is going to happen.
You
You
know,
know?
that's the thing. There's actually a lot of places that do that because statistically speaking, if the cops try to chase someone that is going that fast, you're more likely to cause like damage to other people's property or just the city's property, and hurt more likely to hurt somebody or kill somebody if you chase them.
Yeah, because most people, I mean, you cut down through there a couple lights, a couple turns, and you look back and you don't see them or hear them, you slow down. You're like, all right,
Yeah,
well, won this one.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But yeah, man. So and that even getting right into that, going into this, what did you think about the twist of the car wreck? Because obviously, the way they first initially showed it in the movie, it definitely looked like the Great Gatsby was behind the wheel.
Yeah.
And then come to find out it was not the Great Gatsby behind the wheel. It was Miss Daisy. So what did you
Well,
think watching it? Did you see that coming? Did you feel like there might have been a twist there? Or did you think that, yeah, absolutely, the Great Gatsby had to do that?
I I don't know. I was like, okay, I kind of knew it was gonna happen just watching it. It's like there's gonna be a climactic end. This has had to happen, and then as it like started to unfold, all I could think of was him being a simp. Like it, I don't know. I felt like he was trying to put himself in a situation to halfway protect her. You know, build up the story like he's built up the stories around his life. Like nothing was true with him.
Yeah,
It he tried to push a narrative and craft one and push it and make it the truth. I mean, you say something long enough or a certain amount of times to somebody, eventually they're gonna believe it to be true. That's just kind of how I thought about it was him being his character and building a narrative.
yeah, yeah. And to me, like the funniest thing to me about it was, a, I think that kind of goes to show that, wealth, fame, and fortune, in America, especially in those times, depending on who you were, depending on how much trouble you got in, because no matter who was driving the car, they fucking ran over a lady, killed
Hmm.
her ass, and have witnesses, and
Hmm.
nobody got locked up.
I mean,
And my thing
you
is, it's not like they hit him in a '96 Corolla run of the mill. They
nah,
ran her over in this fucking thing.
bright yellow Rolls Royce.
I would imagine at that time in Long Island, there wasn't too many of these fuckers rolling around.
Well, he also stated that it was a custom job. Like you'd never see something when the car first rolled up. He's like, you never see something like this. This is custom. So everyone knew that was his car.
Yeah. And the fact that, like, nobody was too concerned about the cops.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
mean that's
saying?
another thing you can point out is like whenever he took him to lunch, like he was speeding and the cop like was gonna pull him over, and all he did was show him his personal business card or something, and the cop's like, "All right, have a nice day," and then drove
Yeah.
off.
Or like when he was telling the dude, he was like, "Look, man, I wasn't driving that yellow car." The husband, he's like, "I was driving my coupe," and the cop was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "Who? What are you driving?" He said, "My car, the blue one." He's like, oh, "Okay." They're like, "That's all it takes."
Yeah,
Holy shit! I wish we had the same type of police nowadays. I'd be like, "Nah, I wasn't drinking. Fuck you talking about? Nah, hell,
hell, back
no."
then they were like, "We're not pulling you over for drinking. Like drink all you want, we don't give a shit."
Yeah, they're like, "Hell, I actually got one. Been a long shift."
Yeah, slide one over to me.
Yeah. I just looked in the comments section. We had 5 comments, and it is our resident troll that we love to promote. our official unofficial sponsor, loveface.xyz, online strips without clothing. Thank you for the love and support always in the comments section. Still do not know if my guy Chris, aka Apocalypse, has clicked on your site and ruined a sock yet, but I'm sure he'll let us know once he does so.
I guarantee you he already has. He's
And
just
actually, he's in the comments section. Hey fellas, what's good? What's happening, my guy
what's
Apocalypse? Hey man,
up?
you're in the comment section. Let us know for sure. Have you hit? Oh, he's already on it. He's already on it. Okay, all right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
We won't hold it against you. I mean,
Yeah,
Daisy
no
didn't run.
judgment. No
Daisy didn't
judgment.
run a bitch over in the Great Gatsby neither. You know what I mean? So it's all
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's all good.
Hell, our old Apocalypse is loaded. He can pay for judges to turn a blind eye or cops turn a blind eye.
Yeah. Well, I got a
He's
feeling
got
after
stacks. He just ain't telling nobody about
once he gets off that site, him and the sock's gonna be loaded.
it.
Oh shit! Is he beating us up? He said. He said, "I'm a Pornhub man." All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Nothing wrong with that. I used to like Pornhub until I had to start taking my cell phone to Cricket and getting them to take the viruses off of it every couple of days.
That'll happen.
Yeah. That was a funny story. I took the phone to Cricket. I was like, "Man, it's doing this weird shit. I don't know what it's doing, but I can barely even use the phone." And she was like, "Oh, sir, it's because of what you've been watching." I was like, "YouTube?" She's like, I was like, "YouTube's got viruses?" She's like, "No, no, no. Adult entertainment." I said, "Oh, yeah, it makes sense. Okay." So she fixed it, handed it back to me. I said, "No, no, no. Wait, you can't just fix it and hand it back to me." She was like, "Well," I was like, "You got to show me how to fix it." "Oh, this is gonna happen a lot more times than this.
Yeah, I don't want to
I
be
gotta
coming
come.
back out here.
Why do I gotta come in here every time? You just push a couple buttons. Just show me what you did."
Yeah.
Well, then you think I'm not ashamed of it. I just don't want to have to come in here all the time. Time is money, bitch.
Nah, I don't blame you on that. I didn't know it mess up your phone that bad. Hell.
Well, I think it was because I had a Droid. I don't think it touches iPhones.
Well, that's the thing. I got an Android.
Do you really?
Yeah, it don't mess with mine.
Well, I must have been on a real seedy site, at
Yeah.
dogfart.com or something. But all in all, man, all right, well, fuck it. Let's just go to the end of it, man. Our guy gets shot.
Hmm.
So he goes to war. Falls in love with a woman. Goes to war. Hasn't seen this woman for 5 years, but he's been completely obsessed with her to the point where he, through bootlegging, probably some scandaling and some thieving along the way, he's become just ridiculously wealthy. I mean, big old house, yellow Rolls Royce. The guy's not hurting. Parties
Yeah.
like Hugh Hefner style grotto parties of his time.
Yeah.
Does all this for a woman. Finally rekindles the flame a bit. Gets to diddle her a little bit, back and forth, a little drama here and there, nothing serious. And then she murders a woman. And it kind of all goes downhill from there. And then the woman's husband, who was murdered, shows up at his house and shoots him in the back. First thing I would say about that scene is his butler is a piece of trash. Bro, you had one job. Look out! That's all you had to do. All you had to do is like, hey, duck.
Warner brother.
Something.
Warner brother.
I don't need you to be fucking, dusting off the knickknacks, bro. There's a dude with
Yeah.
a pistol in the backyard. You didn't think it
He's
was
about to shoot my
necessary.
ass.
Yeah, you didn't think it was necessary to check that out or nothing, huh? You're just gonna let him run up on me like that. I hope he
He's
didn't
like,
pay him much.
I was gonna say he probably was saying like, I don't get paid enough for this bullshit. I'm gonna keep fucking doing what I'm doing over here.
Yeah. Right. Well, you and that murdering bitch in the yellow Rolls Royce. Good luck. I'm just sweeping floors.
Yeah.
But
My check's still gonna cash. Fuck it.
But into what I had read and what I kind of seen in my feelings of the undertones of this, I think this is really kind of marks the story of this, as far as I said, like the untangible, holistic American dream.
Yeah.
Fame and fortune, absolutely. True love, it seemed like he was on the cusp, but then, a murder and him getting murdered, obviously at the end of it, was the tale of the story. So no matter how rich and famous and many and your network and your cars and your clothes, uh, when tragedy strikes, and when honestly, when somebody's after your ass with a pistol, it could all come crashing down.
Yeah. It I mean, just like the saying goes, I mean, the straw that broke the camel's back. I mean, it could be the smallest thing that happens, and you never see it coming. Your life is over with.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. Um, so all in all, I'll say I love the cinematography in this movie.
Yeah, that's like, to be honest, that and the music is the best thing about this
Yeah,
movie.
I love the music, and like I said, I love the period that it's in.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly in love with this story in this time period, but
Hmm.
I am in love with the period. I love the swag. I love the uh I think you could probably count it up. He had to say it maybe like 80 times through the movie, but oh sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that shit all through the movie, you know what I mean? That was kind of his moniker, his thing that he liked to call people. But what do you think what's your overall view of the movie, my friend? And I say let's go into rating the movie, and
Yep.
let's go into marry, fuck, and kill.
Okay. I know that. Rating, you do our normal like 1 to 10.
Yeah,
10
I'll give
being
it 1 to
great,
10.
1 being garbage.
I'm thinking 1 to 10, and I'm thinking anything that we deem a 5 or below hits the dumpster.
I'm actually gonna give this about a 6. Be honest, it was entertaining. It's one of those things you don't go out of your way for, but when you watch it, it's entertaining. I mean, you don't feel like you've wasted your time watching it.
Right. You know, all in all, like I said, there's plenty of things in this movie I like. I mean, the worst thing is about the movie itself, like the story and
Hmm.
kind of like the moving through the story to me is
Yeah.
actually the weakest part of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but like I said, I love the way they shot it. I thought it looked slick, beautiful, brilliant. I love the swag. I love the dialogue. I love the cars. I love the time period.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack I thought was crazy. Like really, I thought that was more entertaining than the actual storyline. Just the way they
Oh
kind
yeah.
of pieced that together.
Oh yeah.
So I think I'm gonna go exactly where you're at. I think I'm gonna give it a 6. And honestly, I think the only reason it couldn't get a 7 or 8 is really I think the main part of a movie to me would be the storyline, and I think that's the weakest point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you had everything that we loved about this movie, and it was a dope ass storyline, like if it was actually about some prohibition mobsters,
Yeah.
probably gonna fuck around and get a 10, depending on the acting,
Mate,
obviously.
you talking about that? I mean that if we're going to be talking about stuff like that, man, you definitely need to check out Boardwalk Empire.
Oh,
It's about a guy that is kind of like a low level mobster, and he kind of runs the city. Like he doesn't have a lot of power, but there's a lot of people like he has a lot of the police force on his side and stuff like that. And then prohibition happens, and he's just skyrocketed into this position, and he just throughout the show he just becomes more brutal and heartless and just gains all this power and money, and it's
yeah,
amazing.
Nucky Thompson.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, dude, I've watched every fucking episode of that.
Dude, I love that
That
show.
was that was one of my favorite. I mean, I know people, Sopranos and this and that, but in HBO series world, that was my favorite gap of time because I thought Boardwalk Empire was one of the best Roaring 20 movie shows, anything that I've ever seen. Period. The way
Oh
they
yeah,
did it, and I love the way they added real characters in it. Lucky Luciano, Babyface Nelson, Al Capone.
oh yeah,
Like I loved it, and I loved how it stepped all the way into the Costa Nostra.
yeah,
The five families. I
yeah,
thought that was brilliant. And dude, the guy, what's his name, Steve Buscemi,
yeah.
fucking hell of an actor, man, because he's funny as fuck in movies when he's in comedy, like the Adam Sandler movies he's in and shit.
The
Hilarious.
oh fuck, what
He,
was Airheads?
yeah, Airheads, yeah, Airheads. Fucking, he's in what do you call it, the Grown Ups 1 and 2.
Yeah,
He's in Hubie's Halloween. Have you seen that Hubie's Halloween?
yeah.
That I thought he was funny in that shit. And then but then
Billy Madison.
Billy fucking Madison. Then he plays a good creepy motherfucker in Con Air.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So
Well, talk about Steve Buscemi. My wife, for her one of her things in college, she had to make a wax face, and she did Steve Buscemi, and we
damn,
still have it, and it looks actually pretty good. But she'd
that's
never seen
fucking
Con Air,
badass.
and I told her about it, and we ended up watching it, and she was kind of amazed by it. I'm like, from what she's used to seeing him,
Yeah, that's what
uh,
I'm saying, dude.
I
Like
was
you
like,
see him in a lot of
his
goofy,
range,
quirky shit,
yeah,
but and the thing is, in Con Air, he played like a good, serious, creepy guy. But dude, in Boardwalk Empire, he plays
dude,
a no bullshit gangster as
I
good as
love
anybody.
that. I would honestly have to say, as far as like gangster movie or like, I'm rolling gangster movie and shows into one go. Boardwalk Empire easily, if not the number one spot, top 30 of all
Yeah,
time.
and the thing I love it, like I said, even though it does roll in kind of that whole era in that northeast, area in like the Midwest, Chicago, and everything.
Yeah.
Like I said, Al Capone, Lucky Luciano,
Well,
Babyface
that's the thing.
Nelson,
They all
people like
work
that.
together though. They
But I,
all communicated.
yeah, but I love it because how many movies and documentaries have we seen over the past of like Chicago in the 20s or New York in the 20s? But like that's Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Yeah.
So not only did it give you a whole new real historical because Nucky Thompson was a real person, a
Yeah.
real historical gangster to learn about, which I love learning about new ones, and
Hmm.
then a whole nother area. Atlantic
Yeah.
City. Like
No one
any
talks
other
about
movie.
Atlantic City.
Exactly. You watch Godfather. What do you call it? The Untouchables. All these. It's New York, Chicago. It's kind of the back and
Yeah, even
forth.
in like in Detroit and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah, but
you
Atlantic
talk it.
City, like in the board, and I love the boardwalk. Like they just had that whole element, you know what I mean, of the
Yeah.
boardwalk and like the old like carnival rides and the this and
Yeah.
that like Coney Island vibe.
Well, they always had like it always went back to the boardwalk, like where he used to jump off of it and swim. And the first season, it's the tradition to where they throw like the golden $5 coins or whatever into
Yeah,
the off the boardwalk into the water, and all the like the boys try to swim and get them.
yeah,
Like he even, I mean, spoiler alert, he dies on the boardwalk. I mean, everything. Uh, where they start doing all the beat downs for the voting. It happened like it's a big turning point in his life and career. It's on the boardwalk. Everything goes back to that boardwalk, and it's a good staple in the
yeah,
show.
yeah. Have you ever heard of Wildwood, New Jersey?
Nah, not that off the top of my head. No.
Way before lockdowns and all this bullshit, I was gonna try to take a weekend and go over with my wife. It's like right outside of Atlantic City, but
Yeah.
it's another town with a boardwalk like that that goes through the main like area of it. But dude, it's like back in that era. You know what I mean? Like all the shops kind of look like that. They got a bunch of shops that have like peculiar things like the art from that time, and
Yeah.
some of them even still sell like the top hats and things like that. But they
Yeah.
still got like the carnival rides and like the carnival food there, and then just other I think they got like a walkthrough, kind of like a walkthrough little magic thing. It's just
Yeah.
all that like kind of like tongue in cheek carnival, nostalgic type thing. But it's like kind
Yeah.
of like the vibe of the whole little town right there. And I just thought going up there for like 2 or 3 days would be so badass, just because it would be like a throwback, you see, and like even like I guess I don't know what I guess like the hipsters will, like that's a good move up there. Like you'll see people dressed like greasers, or you'll see people with like the pinwheel mustaches up there, because
Yeah,
it's kind of
yeah,
like that whole scene. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's just cool as fuck to me. Like when I seen it and got like, because somebody, I don't even remember who, somebody I know went there and I saw their pictures. I was like, what the fuck is this place? So then I looked it up myself and I was like, bro, that's pretty fucking cool. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to go up there.
yeah.
I have to see what the mandates are in Jersey nowadays. If they're not too fucking commie up there, I might still go up there, because I'd
Uh,
love to check it out. But I like, nowadays it's like, do you spend the money to travel somewhere where you can't do nothing?
yeah.
Like that seems
You just
shitty.
kind of get screwed by it, or like what happens with those?
Yeah, yeah. I tell you what's wild. I'm going to Mardi Gras this year.
Really?
Louisiana, New Orleans, the South,
Nolans.
The Bible Belt. I have to have a current negative COVID test to party in Mardi Gras, the place where loose tits and beads run amok. But I have to show you a failed flu test to go throw beads on tits. It's ridiculous. But
Well, I mean, I had to show one just to get into Louder and Live up in Louisville.
yeah,
Like before you got in, you had to have that shit in front of you, or you had to show your vaccination card. I mean,
yeah. But it's just funny to me. Like, all right, I'm gonna show you this proof of a negative, and then I'm gonna go in here and get fucking plastered.
yeah.
And
Well, I'm
scream and
just
hoop and holler, and girls are I mean, it's
you
fucking
may
Mardi
get like a
Gras.
nipple in the eye or something, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Where's the? Well, I don't have any fucking negative pink eye paperwork. You know,
yeah, yeah,
but yeah, it's hilarious for me. I mean, we're going either way. But
yeah.
like at first it was proof of the jab. I was like, well, that ain't gonna happen. And then it was like, or a negative test. Like, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. I could probably print one of those offline. But bro, I've been thinking. I got an announcement to make for Blurred Minds in about 2 to 3 weeks. Um, this is kind of going the vein of it a little bit. But UHOA, the United Hard Hats of America, and MVH has motivated greatly this next pick. We're gonna go comedy, and we're gonna go with one of the ones that is scene by scene ridiculous, insanely retarded, and makes me laugh a lot. And I actually work with this guy's doppelganger on a daily basis.
I'm down with it. I'm
We're
down with it.
going Joe Dirt. My brothers from the UHOA have repped the mullet strong, and let me tell you, my guy Mud Dog Logan Courtney is Joe Dirt reincarnated. So, in honor and love of my brothers at the UHOA, and especially my guy the Mud Dog, we're going Joe Dirt 1. I wouldn't dare waste your time with 2.
Yeah,
Have you tried to watch Joe Dirt 2?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't think it,
Yeah.
it doesn't exist in my mind.
It's when you're talking about it, just a money grab. Lord have mercy.
Oh yeah.
Lord have mercy. That's one of them. But to me, number one is one of the funniest fucking movies I've seen
Oh,
in
I
my
love it.
life. So I figured we'll go in on that. And like I said, this one and probably the next pick, I believe, is going to kind of set the tone for our grand unveiling that we'll have. I'll probably do it right here on this show next week, maybe. And after that, I say after that, we'll roll with whatever pick. So by that time, if you think we want to go in on Moulin Rouge, we can do so. And
I mean, that to be honest, I think we should do like I don't want to fall into like a certain category where we're always doing comedies or we're always doing action movies. Like
yeah, that's why I
just
love this pick, honestly, because it's completely left of everything we've done so far.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I feel like we need to keep that going with this is like variety.
yeah,
Keep the variety
yeah.
happening.
And I didn't know who I was going to come on here, but honestly, as long as you're willing to deal with this on Thursday nights, it looks like me and you are the panel. Uh, Other people I'm sure would jump on and off, but I was kind of trying to wait to see if we had a whole panel that had the streaming services and we could all agree on a series to speak about along with these movies. But me and you have already spoken on a series that we're both already watching. Of course, as far as the people go, we'll have to go backwards in time a little bit of where we're at in the timeline of the show to speak on it. But would you want to start adding in the talk of Boba Fett into our Thursday night?
I am okay with that. I mean, they just finished up the season, but
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Well, and the good thing about the finished up season, we'll give people time to go back and watch it if they haven't watched it. People to listen to us, and then two, it'll be easy for us to kind of start a season one and not just breeze through it disrespectfully, but like it'd be easier
Yeah,
for us to kind of catch up.
yeah.
But I figure since we both watched that one, that'd be again. Plus, it's season one, so it's not something that we're starting season 3, 4, or something that we're already been watching for multiple seasons and got to catch somebody up on.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're cool with that, I say next Thursday we're the movie of choice is going to be Joe Dirt, and we'll start on. I guess we'll start on season 1, episode 1 of Boba Fett.
I'm down with that.
Cool, cool, cool. Well, you got
Uh,
anything going on?
by the way, we still have not done fuck Mary Kill.
Oh, well, shit! I'm glad you brought that up. All right, my friend. Let's go ahead and get that underway. Of course,
Uh,
obviously there's dudes on here, but it's got all 3 chicks on here, so I figured that'd be the best picture for this portion of the show. So I'll
I was
let
gonna
you
say,
start it off, my friend.
if you don't mind, I've already got my picks.
All right.
Uh, I would kill the main actress, the main character. I can't remember her name.
You're
Uh,
gone, honey.
I'm looking it up. Daisy Buckingham.
Yeah.
She's gone. Just I wish
Out
she
of
got
here.
hit by the car.
Out of here. You
Uh,
you are no longer pushing up Daisy. Well,
uh
Daisy, you are pushing up
yeah,
daisies.
Daisy's pushing daisies. The fuck, I would probably just do the golfer girl. Uh, she would, yeah, it'd be a good time.
Oh yeah. And
And
plus obviously she kind of seems like she's one of the ones that kind of knows her role.
yeah, yeah. And then the Mary would be my girl, Isel Fisher.
Yeah.
Love me a redhead, bub. Mm.
Absolutely. And honestly, my friend, that is the exact Mary fuck kill lineup that I had chose.
Yeah.
So we'll recap it for him. We're marrying we're marrying the tomato. We're fucking the dark haired beauty, and we're killing Linda Lazy Eye. So, folks, I don't know if anybody in the out there in the YouTube world agrees or disagrees with us, but next show, let us know how you feel about it.
that is that is beautiful. Linda Lazy. I fucking got,
oh,
I'm done. I'm done.
Linda Lazy. All right,
Let's
folks.
wrap it up, man. That's a perfect ending for this.
Outside of that, I'll just give a little plug of Rooski. Sunday night, Shop Talk Sports is going in on a Super Bowl special. So instead of going in at 8 o'clock at night, we're not competing with the fucking Super Bowl. We're going in at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to do a pre-Super Bowl show. We're going to try to keep about an hour and a half. Our predictions, we'll talk our shit. We'll make fun of everybody else's team that's on the bench. We might allude to maybe a little bit of college that happened that day, but we're going to keep it Super Bowl for Sunday. Then that night during Super Bowl, I'll be going live from Cincinnati with the Bengals fans at the Bengal Bar and getting y'all some good footage right there at Ground Zero. So if the Bengals win, I'll show y'all how Ohio burns the city down, and if they lose, I'll show you how to kayak through a river of tears. Because I'm a Titans fan,
Wow,
so
Ohio
I'm just
burning.
there for the smoke.
Yeah, I'm staying
Man,
out of there, man. You can have that.
and outside of that, I believe Ill's World's going to go off without a hit Saturday, 8 o'clock at his usual time. He's got an interview set up. I'm not exactly sure who he's interviewing, so I'm sure he will promo that throughout this week. And then Monday Night Mayhem's at 8 o'clock as usual. Outside of that, do you got anything to plug? Anything going on? You need to bring some awareness to, my friend?
Nah, man. Y'all just keep hitting those times. Getting those views up. Subscribe if you got it. I mean, come watch us. If you don't like what we have to say, throw something in the comments. Tell us we're fucking wrong or idiots or whatever. If you do, throw us a few likes.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
And hopefully you die along with Lazy Eye Linda. Well,
Dude, I can't get over that. She looks like there's something wrong with that face.
I'm telling you, she looks like a wax figure that just started to melt just a touch. Just got a little getting too close to the heater.
Yeah, just an uncomfortable amount of movement. Not a lot, but enough to like, ooh, that girl
Yeah.
looks busted.
The worst part about it is like just enough to look at it like that was the best you could do for the lead role, huh?
Yeah, you're
Like
supposed to be hot, right?
like no homo, but I'm pretty sure Leonardo DiCaprio can do better. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit.
He has.
Well, folks, this is Blurred Minds Movie Militia. I am J Wall the Jerk. That is my guy Derek. We will see y'all next Thursday. Like I said, we're gonna do Joe Dirt, and we're gonna do season 1, episode 1 of Boba Fett to let y'all catch up and give you time to watch it if you have not do so. So, without further ado, we will see y'all next Thursday, and we out of here.
Later.